Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of our shared human experience. Today we find ourselves in the midst of a pivotal moment in history, as we delve into the origins of the Battle of Tannenberg, a clash that would forever alter the landscape of Eastern Europe. As we set the stage for this epic tale, let us transport ourselves to the early 20th century, when the drums of war were beating louder with each passing day. The year was 1914, and the world was on the precipice of chaos. In the heart of Europe, the German Empire, under the leadership of Kaiser Wilhelm II, was expanding its territorial ambitions, while the Russian Empire, led by Tsar Nicholas II, sought to protect its western borders. Our story begins in the picturesque region of East Prussia, a land of rolling hills, dense forests, and meandering rivers. It is here, near the town of Ulsten, that we find the village of Tannenberg, a name that would soon become synonymous with one of the most decisive battles of World War I. The date was August 23, 1914, and the air was thick with tension as the German and Russian armies began to mobilize. The historical context of this battle is deeply rooted in the complex geography of East Prussia. The region's unique landscape, with its dense forests, numerous lakes, and winding rivers, would play a significant role in the unfolding events. The Germans, familiar with the terrain, were able to utilize their knowledge to launch a series of surprise attacks against the Russian forces. As we delve deeper into the earliest history of the Battle of Tannenberg, we find ourselves immersed in a world of military strategy and tactical maneuvering. The German plan, devised by General Erich Ludendorff, involved a bold pincer movement aimed at encircling and destroying the Russian Second Army. Meanwhile, the Russians, confident in their numerical superiority, pushed forward with a series of frontal assaults against the German lines. Key figures such as General Paul von Hindenburg, who would later become the President of Germany, and General Alexander Samsonov, the commander of the Russian Second Army, played crucial roles in the events leading up to the battle. The intricate web of alliances and rivalries between European powers, including the complex system of entangling agreements between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, also contributed to the outbreak of war. The immediate precursor to the Battle of Tannenberg was the German invasion of neutral Belgium, which led Britain to declare war on Germany. This, in turn, prompted Russia to mobilize its military in support of its ally, France. The Russian army, however, was not yet fully prepared for war, and its mobilization efforts were hindered by inadequate supply lines and a lack of modern infrastructure. As the German and Russian armies clashed in East Prussia, the stage was set for a brutal and devastating conflict. The fate of empires hung in the balance, as two great powers engaged in a struggle that would shape the course of history. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of the Battle of Tannenberg. Between August 26 and August 30, 1914, the landscape of Eastern Europe was forever altered. The German army, led by General Paul von Hindenburg and General Erich Ludendorff, launched a bold pincer movement against the Russian Second Army, commanded by General Alexander Samsonov. The Russians, confident in their numerical superiority, pushed forward with a series of frontal assaults against the German lines. As the battle raged on, the unique geography of East Prussia played a significant role in the unfolding events. The dense forests and numerous lakes hindered the Russian army's ability to maneuver, while the Germans utilized their knowledge of the terrain to launch surprise attacks. The town of Ulsten, with its strategic location at the crossroads of several major roads, became a crucial hub for the German army. One notable example of the German army's tactical prowess was the Battle of Tannenberg itself, which took place on August 27, 1914. The Germans, utilizing their superior artillery and machine gun emplacements, were able to encircle and destroy the Russian Second Army, inflicting over 30,000 casualties and capturing more than 90,000 prisoners. As General Hindenburg would later remark, the Battle of Tannenberg was a masterpiece of modern warfare, where strategy and tactics came together in perfect harmony. As we delve deeper into the heart of the battle, we find ourselves in the midst of a maelstrom of chaos and destruction. The Russian army, reeling from the devastating losses, struggled to maintain cohesion and discipline. Meanwhile, the German army, buoyed by their victory, pressed on with renewed vigor, seeking to exploit the weaknesses in the Russian lines. The Battle of Tannenberg marked a turning point in the war, as the German army gained a strategic advantage that would shape the course of the conflict. The Russian army, humbled and weakened, would never fully recover from the losses suffered during those fateful days in August 1914. As we reflect on the significance of this battle, we are reminded of the words of General Ludendorff, who noted, "The Battle of Tannenberg was a triumph of German arms, but it also marked the beginning of a long and bloody struggle that would test the mettle of our nation." As we conclude this segment of our journey, we find ourselves at the pinnacle of the Battle of Tannenberg's influence and power. The battle's outcome had far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of World War I and beyond. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we conclude our journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of the Battle of Tannenberg. The Battle of Tannenberg's impact was felt far beyond the borders of East Prussia. The Russian army's devastating losses, which exceeded 170,000 casualties and prisoners, severely weakened their ability to wage war effectively. The German victory, on the other hand, bolstered their confidence and morale, allowing them to maintain a strong presence on the Eastern Front. In the years following the battle, the German army continued to push deep into Russian territory, capturing key cities such as Warsaw and Riga. However, the Russian army's resilience and determination ultimately led to a stalemate, with both sides suffering heavy losses in the subsequent battles of Masurian Lakes and Gorlice-Tarnow. The Battle of Tannenberg also had significant diplomatic repercussions. The Russian government, facing mounting pressure from its allies and the devastating losses on the battlefield, began to negotiate a separate peace treaty with Germany. Although these efforts ultimately failed, they contributed to the growing distrust and tension between Russia and its allies, particularly France and Britain. As World War I drew to a close, the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, signed in March 1918, imposed harsh penalties on Russia, including significant territorial losses and hefty reparations. The treaty marked a humiliating defeat for Russia and paved the way for the rise of the Bolsheviks, who would eventually seize power in the October Revolution. In the aftermath of World War I, the Battle of Tannenberg became a symbol of German military prowess and a source of national pride. However, it also served as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of war and the importance of diplomacy in preventing such conflicts. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in history, we are reminded of the words of General Erich Ludendorff, who noted, "The Battle of Tannenberg was a triumph of German arms, but it also marked the beginning of a long and bloody struggle that would test the mettle of our nation." Today, the legacy of the Battle of Tannenberg continues to be felt. The battle is remembered as a testament to the bravery and sacrifice of soldiers on both sides, and its impact on the course of World War I remains a topic of study and debate among historians. As we conclude our journey through the annals of time, we are left with a deeper understanding of the complexities and nuances of this pivotal moment in history. In conclusion, the Battle of Tannenberg was a turning point in World War I, marking a significant shift in the balance of power on the Eastern Front. Its aftermath had far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of the war and beyond. As we reflect on this momentous event, we are reminded of the importance of understanding the complexities of history and the need for continued diplomacy and cooperation to prevent such devastating conflicts from arising again. Join me next time on History with Herodotus, as we explore more fascinating stories from the annals of time. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.